Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are not pony related. Why? Because last week I missed 2 days. I was busy. But now that we're back on track for a bit, let us check out some interesting fics. Recently, we got a brand new request from Heartthrob about doing a crossover. And you know me, I love doing requests because this allows me to see so many different interesting fics and so many different interesting takes. So let's start off with Harry Potter and the Digidestined by Frias. Enjoy. Harry Potter and the Digidestined by Frias. Well, at least it's something easy to pronounce. As usual, Taiichi Tai Kamiya was lounging in a tree. Today's choice was an old leafless tree that was not far from the axe. Highview Terrace, Odaiba, Japan, 2000. Snuggled up in the third branch, the dark brown-haired boy filled with a pair of round goggles. Although a large amount of cool kids, thought wore them, he looked like he had seen a large amount of action. Then again, they had. It was a breezy winter day near the Highview Terrace in Odaiba, Japan, a place he had once lived. The boy turned to his thoughts the previous year. Back then, Tai and his sister Kairi had harbored a memory so deep down that they'd both forgotten it. It started when 4-year-old Kairi had stumbled upon a strange egg that came out of her computer. Then it quickly hatched into a black blob called Botamon, which later turned into a pink and grew very 2 long years so he used to hug people in the face. This creature, now called Koromon, turned into an orange-yellow happy T-Rex that wanted to see with Kairi on it, Tai in hot pursuit. When a massive egg opened up in the sky, releasing a very huge and cranky parrot known as Parrotmon, Agumon came to rescue as a T-Rex with a black armored head with a Triceratops horn known as Greymon. She took it down, whisked in the sky, never to be seen again. That incident led to something big last year. Tai had gone to winter camp and it started snowing. After it started snowing, Tai and the 6 others had these things fall down to them and whisked away to Earth. It turned out that the incidents involving the 2 creatures had been real and marked Tai, his sister, and 6 others for a great destiny. Together with the other 6 kids, the computer known as Koshiro Izzy Izumi, Lone Wolf Yamato Matt Asida, his younger brother Takeru TK Takasi, nervous but reliable Joe Kido, Fast 11 Mimi Tachikawa, and the girl who Tai liked, Sora Takanichi. I just don't have the heart to tell them that this is not going to end the way they think it's going to. Various other digital friends, including Tai's own partner, he had taken down many digital enemies, teamed up with Kairi, who had a cold and had to stay home instead of going to camp, and had saved the new digital world from total disaster. Fortunately, they had to leave their partners behind, never to be seen again. Or so they thought. Then again, they saw each other and reminisced about old times. It was not the same without Agumon there beside him. He had started out his thoughts by a pair of voices yelling at him, but him and his sister. Tai, how have you been? Called out spiky blonde Matt. Matt and Tai eventually became friends and stayed in contact the most. Tai swung down from the tree and reported about a soccer game with the younger kids. TK hidden by his huge ball cap and Kari fingering her short brown hair. So, have the others shown up, Tai? Aren't you glad Matt has his voice back? Me too. Before either boys can respond, a voice called out, "They have now!" Tai turned to see Izzy, a red-headed toad around a backpack in his computer, strawberry blonde Mimi waving, brown-haired Sora, black-haired Joe. As usual, Sora was in her bucket-like hat, while Mimi sported a pink cowboy hat and matching dress. Joe pushed his round glasses back up his nose and gave some story about how he had a test. He was barely able to make it. Everyone began talking about the adventures they had over the past year while the sky got darker. Oddly enough, no one noticed it was only 2 in the afternoon. It had changed when each person heard a beep from the little round devices and vanished. Computer room. Odaiba Elementary School. Odaiba, Japan, 2002. Yali Inoue fingered her bandana impatiently. I just want to tell you guys, most of this is just an introduction. I'm just mainly doing this for 1, the recap purpose, and 2, I just really want to say the Japanese names. And after dealing with Mikan for the past month and having to sit through so much lame representation of Digimon, I think I'll just want you guys to enjoy hearing the real Digidestined in action for a sec. The strawberry blonde had been waiting for half an hour, while of course everyone else was late. She sighed, wondering how hard it was for 5 people to stick to a schedule when a boy with black hair just ran past 10. Sorry, Yoli. I'm late. Soccer tryouts. For Yoli, a pair of kids ran in. Soros, Kodihida, was rumbling about carrots and kendo, while fingering his winning blade. The other, wild-haired diva, said nothing. Looking around for a girl he had a crush on, Kyrie. Before he could determine her whereabouts, everyone's walkie-talkie-like gadgets went nuts and leapt into their hands. Next second, Kyrie and her best friend TK ran into the room to find no one. Okuro Park, Okuro, Japan. Henry Wong rubbed his shoulder, once again missing the way of his friend. A few months ago, Henry had been a black-haired boy. He did what other boys did, studying martial arts, doing school, playing Digimon. Digimon was an excellent game, and since his father had great connections, Henry had to lay his desk. One day, while fighting against a Gorillamon using a hard choice, a floppy-haired bunny with a horn called Terriermon received injuries. Shockingly, as Harry swiped a card to power the Digimon up, his card reader changed to a large key-linked chain for a Tamagotchi. Terriermon appeared in his arms. Harry found out that his father had been one of the creators of Digimon, that they were real, and he made new friends with them, some adults, including his own father, say 2 worlds from an over-acre computer program. Yeah, that's a nice way to call an elder abomination. Price had been losing Terriermon, but when the leader Takato said he found a portal back, everyone agreed to meet up today. Hearing the noise, Harry let go of his youngest sister, Susie, the third youngest Digimon teamer. Waiting for whoever was nearby. And then was starting to hear the click of a metal lyre. Only one person known to carry. Man knows Yamanaki. I won't be here long, but if you go, here. Yamanaki handed Henry a black digivice with a pen attached to it. Henry knew this device would be used to send text back and forth to Yamanaki's computer. As he looked at it, Yamanaki said something on the ground, muttered, just in case. He walked around, dodging 2 kindergartners. Maka, what are you 2 doing here? He guessed at the 2 kids. We want to see Emma again, the black-haired boy and girl sang unison. Henry rolled his eyes. The kids were actually the youngest, even though Susie may be younger. Since Henry didn't know how old they were, they got the spot since he had no one to look after them. Just let him go, Emily. I mean, what if it was you? A boy with a blue visor over his brown hair said, because they're too young, Kazu. Oh, for Pete's sake, Thick! People! New paragraph! New speaker! Every time! Is this the problem with my fanfic? With my computer or something? It's like, nobody gets this! Nobody! Are you people lazy? Do you people just not like pressing the enter button? Here, it's simple. Look, I'll give you an instruction, alright? Everybody listening to this, I'm going to give you a quick lesson, alright? Pay attention now. When somebody is speaking, you first put down quotation mark. Then you type the sentence. Then you end it with a punctuation, like a comma, or a period, or an exclamation mark, or a question mark. Then you put in another quotation mark. Then you put in either the name or a possessive word, like said, or asked, or exclaimed. Now, you don't have to repeat said. You could use spoke, read, anything like that, just to give your words some flavor. Then, after you're done, if there's a person who's speaking, you press the enter button. Now, I know some of you might think that the enter button is this mysterious object, and You might not know where it is, but if you look at your keyboard, you'll see that there's a caps lock. Then there's an A and an S and a D and an F and a G and an H and a J and a K and an L, followed by the semicolon and a colon, then the apostrophe and the punctuation, and finally the enter button. Right there, it's kind of big. It's just right above the shift button. Once the person is done speaking, you want to do a new speaker, you press it. Now, I know it might seem like it takes a long time to do that, but all you need to do is just press enter and boom. It takes 5 seconds. That's all you need to do. Just 5 seconds. I'll look after them, called a voice that pained Henry. Jerry Cotto was the only teamer to lose her partner when Impmon, a black-haired Weaselmon, killed her lilac team partner Leomon in front of her eyes. I don't know. He handed the brown-haired smiley girl. I don't think we have much of a choice, Henry. Brown-haired boy with goggles said. Takato Masuki, the leader, had finally arrived, but he was not alone. Behind him was a taller black-haired boy, Kenta, a brown-haired boy named Rio, and another short-haired brown girl. This one frowned at Gogglehead. Rika was known for her attitude, but before she could say anything, the ground shook and everyone fell into a swirling vortex. Shibuya train station, Shibuya, Japan. So much had changed since the last time he had come here. He used a boy in a brown hat and goggles while departing the train. Back then, life was boring and wanted some action. Boy, did I get my wish. Ooh, what's with the POV change? He froze, being bumped by people who weren't there anymore. Takuya ran after a strange boy whom he had noticed following instructions from his cell phone. Built into the elevator key and leapt in. Gotta stop landing on my head, he muttered in explanation. As the elevator went down farther, the other boy ignored him, but he held back his anger. Eventually it stopped, and both boys ran off towards different trains. Takuya reaching his while it was moving. He snapped out of memory and went down to the same elevator taken months before, eager to join his friends. When he made it down, he was greeted by 5 people. 10-year-old Tommy squeezed Takuya, his brown-haired boy, cream-colored cap. Isika Mokuya, Takuya, howled the blonde girl, joining in. Zoya Remoto was Italian, so as usual he had no cut of what she had said, but a good guess wasn't insulting. When both of them disengaged, the heavy-set boy in blue fingers brown hair said, "About time you got here, Taki." Jinpei, JP, Sabuya smiled, pulled out a piece of chocolate. A black-haired boy that called out a happy hello to Takuya, twin following suit. The first boy, Koichi Kimura, had a sad past as a warrior of darkness before meeting his brother. Just as Blue Ball Cap looked around in wonder, Koichi had never been to the station. He had gone into the digital world in spirit, after getting concussed during a sprint downstairs and returned to a fall. Koji Minamoto, the first of the group Takuya had met, the same boy in the elevator, patted his brother and looked up to Blue Banana Head. Suddenly the station shook, and all 6 were gone. Surgery, the digital world. Marcus Damon sent one of his orange dinosaur friend Agumon. Since he had decided he couldn't leave his employee, he had teamed up with Agumon, making the digital world when it had been closed off for the human world. The tall teen was lost in thought, thinking about his father and friends, and wondering how he was doing. Wishing he could see him again. Little did he know he was getting that was his Agumon Vance. Ruins of the Digital Accident and Tactics Squad, Tokyo, Japan. Commander Richard Sampson had gotten off his shift, so instead of waiting, he had come here. The tall adult adjusted his sunglasses as he spoke to another man, Homer Yushima. I still stop every now and then, wondering why my shoulder is cold. Before the white-haired Homer could respond, a voice spoke up. Kunamon's probably wondering why he isn't with you. At least Marcus is able to keep an eye on things. The dark-haired Miki Kurosaki's eyes burned with tears. If only Princess Malone and I could have... We still miss Falconmon too, came a voice. No longer wore tattered clothing, and rarely spoke as a foreigner. Ken and Kira had not gotten out his wild hair shades. Samson, Homer, and Minky were shocked, however, when noticed a boy who had an old blue face paint on. When he was around a year old, he'd been whisked to the digital world and left there as a savage, when he sought to be a Digimon. Later, he met his real parents, who were recently able to get over learning he was human. After an hour, the rest of the group joined Spencer and Crazy Damon, stood next to Samson, Chrissy patting Kane along the way. while Mikumi Shirakawa stood next to her friend Miki. While tall blonde-haired Thomas H. Norstein and strawberry blonde Yoshino Yoshi Fujita stood together. Before another word was spoken, all had vanished from the proud and busy building. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and give my thoughts. Before checking this out, I kind of did speed through it, and it just doesn't look all that good, quite frankly. Later on in the fic, everybody meets up together, and the story spends a very long time setting everything up for being in the Harry Potter world. We just get them getting the sorting hat, them going onto the train, and this fic spending about 5 to 10 minutes explaining everything about everybody. And yeah, I remind you, this fic has a really, really huge cast of characters. We've got most of the 01 cast. We've got the other 4 kids. We've got the rest of the Tamers team. And then, of course, this fic also spends time doing something I love with every single crossover, i.e., introductions. And it seems like it takes forever to even get to the Harry Potter stuff. And while the rest, this feels like it's trying to combine the two, but doesn't seem to really be doing it all that well. Like, for instance, why are the Digidestined going straight to Hogwarts? Doesn't Japan have its own mystical school of wizardry? I mean, we here in the US have one. As a matter of fact, before I went to Equestria, I actually attended a couple of years. Kinda got bored with it, though. They never taught me druid magic. Shame. Okay, yeah, I did check, and apparently there is a Japanese school of witchcraft and wizardry, so the question becomes, why didn't the team go there? And later on, there's apparently a death and resurrection for Harry, but nothing really mentioning anything about Voldemort or the main story. And while I'm cheering that this fic is not going the route of Stasis of canon and just repeating itself ad nauseum, the rest just feels kind of like the author just wants to throw everything at the wall and hope something that sticks without really thinking about the repercussions of putting something like Digimon into the mystical world. It just doesn't feel like the author wanted to try, or putting digital items within Hogwarts. So yeah, it seems like it might be decent for people who do like it, but it's just not for me. One down, thousands more to go.